Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the channel. Last video we finished up the brakes. After replacing rusty brake lines and basically every part of the brake system, the whole thing's full of air. Brake systems are hydraulic. When you push your foot on the pedal, that pushes a piston into the master cylinder. That creates pressure in the brake fluid, which makes it push down the brake line into the brake. That pushes another piston, which is the brake pads, which squeeze together onto the rotor, causing friction, hopefully slowing your vehicle down and stopping it. The problem with air in the system is air compresses relatively easy where fluid does not. So when you go to push and make pressure in the master cylinder, the air compresses down instead of it compressing at the brake pad. If you've ever pressed on your brake pedal and it feels very squishy, that means there's probably air in the system. One of the more important things to remember as you're bleeding brakes is to keep this reservoir topped off. As we're bleeding the brakes, we're pumping fluid out, which means this thing is going to go empty. If it goes all the way dry, you'll start pumping air into the system. That means you got to start all the way over. When bleeding brakes, you want to start as far from the reservoir as possible. The reservoir is up in the front driver, so we will start in the rear passenger, do the rear driver, front passenger, and front driver last. Let's get into it. We're at the back brake. I've hooked up a container and a hose. When we bleed the brakes, where's my finger? When we bleed the brakes, it'll build pressure and push through. Since there's a high point in the line, all the air should go up there. So the point of us bleeding these brakes is to get the air out of here. Have you look around the back here, and we just put that hose on the bleeder valve. I'm gonna get a wrench and see if I can adjust this camera to where we can do this. All right, got you behind the brake. My partner's gonna push on the brake and hold it. That will build pressure. As I crack this, it's gonna lose pressure. Then I will tighten back up. My partner will let off the brake and then press the brake again. There we go, more air out of the system. Let go of the brake. Press the brake. Let go of the brake. Let me go check, because that's a lot of fluid that's come out of there so far. Probably going to need to fill that up again. As you guys can see, there's a ton of air bubbles in this flowing out, and that's what we're trying to get rid of. Press. We still have a couple air bubbles, as you can see. The problem is this whole system is empty, so air's just getting pushed around. That means this is all the way full now. We're gonna go to the other one, make sure it's full, do the front ones, etc., etc. You could hit those brakes for me. Press. Let go. Press. Let go. As you can see, we got most of the air out of this, so we'll head up to the front ones. Okay, we're at the front passenger brake. Oh yeah, I think I need to tighten this up some too. Whatever. If you will press. Let go. Press again. Let go. This has a lot of air in it. I've heard it blow bubbles twice. Press. Press. Let go. Press. The banjo bolt that we tightened earlier is leaking, so we're going to give it just a little more of a tightening. Let's see how that does. If you would press, and press a couple times. So there was enough rust on the bolt, I really couldn't torque it correctly. I'm just kind of having to do this by feel that feels tight, which is kind of dangerous to do with not stripping bolts out, but it does finally, yeah, that feels actually tight, which means I probably need to tighten these bolts as well. Anyways, we'll get back to bleeding. If you could press. All right, we're doing the last one. It's closest to the brake master. If you could push. Release. Push. Release. Push. Release. Take a break. I need to put fluid in there. I'm glad I put fluid in there. We just about ran that to where we had to start all over. Make sure you fill up your brake reservoir as you do this. If you could push. And relax. Should be good. Give that a couple of really hard pushes. Make sure we're not leaking at this one. A few. Does it feel nice and firm now? Awesome. To test out the parking brake and the regular brakes, I put the Jeep in gear and then used the brakes to stop everything. Is that spinning? They both seem strong enough to stall out the Jeep, so there's a really good chance they actually work. Yeah, there we go. Well, it looks like all that's working. Next video, we'll put the Jeep back together. We'll take it out on its first drive in at least a decade or more. There's links down in the description to all the tools and parts we used. Leave a like if you made it this far. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content. Now go on an adventure, get out there and see the stars!